Pep talks never make me feel better.
If that were my goal, I would be saddened.
You actually came from space.
There are robots here, but they are not constructed here. The clones also are not born here. The robots bring fresh clones always from the east. That is where their facility lies. And that's it. I know no more. We are the ones who believe in the mission. We are the great minds and leaders of history, who can bring about a new golden age. Our numbers are admittedly few, but we make up for it in our commitment to see the dream of Crucible realized. We just want the machines fixed, so we can pass the test and be allowed to leave Crucible, and try to make a difference. I am her reborn. Many here scoff at reincarnation, but why? It has been a belief of people from the earliest of times. Why is it so unimaginable it can happen? When I dream, I smell the sands of Africa. I see the vaunted Roman legions with their prickly spear walls, and I see and taste the blood. Both ours and theirs. I am Queen Amanirinas, and I am she who even the conquerors fear. Roosevelt and the pragmatists vex us. True, they do help us try and maintain the facility, but they deny the mission. Such hubris. We were sent here for a reason. Why can't they see that? And Genghis and the renegades are little more than brigands spoiling for a fight. They would destroy everything if it meant they could be unleashed on the galaxy. Clearly, none of them will ever reach their potential. Goodbye.
Hey, be careful not to point that thing at me.
So, you have heard from the other societies. I must confess I'm very curious what an outsider thought of them, and their positions. You might be the first objectively neutral party we've ever come across. A very diplomatic approach. The facility has gathered some of the most obstinate and dangerous personages throughout history. It has told them that they should lead in a golden age via whatever means they see appropriate. Setting us all loose and Parda as a whole would invite disaster. We are barely fit to lead ourselves. The most likely case is anyone that leaves Crucible would die or silently fail. But its mission is correct, and they do take over the settled systems. In the course of history, it took millennia to cast out petty tyrants. The way ahead lies not looking to the past to literally guide us, but for this generation to learn from us. Terrible and great figures we represent had their time. We made the most of it. We should be at peace with it. A tough but fair question. I must admit the case of Amelia Earhart sometimes keeps me up at night. It is safer if the rule is strict, but if you wanted to make an exception or two, I could live with that. But no one from the other societies. They are all dangerous in their own way. Certainly. It is evident that the facility is decaying. It is both unsustainable and unwise for us to fix and maintain the status quo. Our community must be weaned off the machines, learn how to build, grow, and govern ourselves, allowed to raise families so we can pass our lessons to the next generation, and to die when our allotted time is finished. One day we will be worthy of going to the stars. We are just not there yet. Do not listen to passion. Genghis can be very persuasive, but he's a fool. In some sense, we are an abomination. A science project made for unknown ends and with uncertain results. Once we are fully human, fully self-reliant, then we should be allowed. Yes, and not to be indelicate, not for lack of trying. Are we even human in this state? We have no future, only the past. Please, I beg you, listen, look, and think. Who are these people, and what would they do? I hope, for all our sake, you will come to see the light.
I always enjoy these moments.
We are not 100% sure, but I have a theory. The facility has been unreliable as long as I've been alive. My guess is that they are historical figures that just didn't get a proper education. Who's to say what Julius Caesar actually looked like? Or some modern person of note that we wouldn't even know about. Whoever they are, though, they are as smart and capable as the ones that know their identity. My feelings about my namesake are complicated. He was a great but flawed human being. On one hand, he guided a country through the ravages of depression and war admirably. He tirelessly fought to improve the lives of the poor and disadvantaged. But as a husband, he was unfaithful. And as a colleague, he was a consummate politician, which is sometimes good, often distasteful. He was truly a great man, and I must confess, I am proud to share his heritage. We are unnaturally dependent on the machines of the facility for every aspect of our society. The pragmatists seek to take the reins of power ourselves. We will cultivate, work, and govern for ourselves. Perhaps, once we have demonstrated that we can govern ourselves well, we can try and bring our leadership to the settled systems. But to do so too early, I fear, courts disaster. Nice talking.
Some of the
with you.
turrets are failing.
I know Amonarinas and the Believers are fixing them. You're free to assist them.
But if they all fail?
Then we will most likely die.
Is that all you have to say?
That's why our aims are so important. We need to learn how to do things for ourselves. How to defend, how to produce power, how to fix the plumbing, for God's sake.
In my darkest hours, I feared that we were all that was left of humanity.
Listen, it's not safe to talk here. It's about Roosevelt. There's something you need to know. Not here. If he found out I'm even talking to you about this...
The world is a prism of your perception.
Thank you. There's a, well, cave just outside town. No chance of us being listened in on. Please, come as quick as you can. Ideally, before you go to the facility. I'll meet you at the cave.
Your ship, she's a beauty. It travels the stars, right? Tell me, what's it like out there? That's just how I imagine it. My name's Amelia Earhart. When I first woke up in this place, in my head, I knew all about my namesake, her life and her accomplishments. But I also knew how to fly a starship, reactor limits, thrust acceleration, vectors, and everything. In my mind's eye, I can imagine flying out there, touching heaven itself. And yet, cruelly, here I sit. The facility keeps us alive, fed and protected, but they do a terrible job of informing us of anything at all. My guess is the facility thought they might need a pilot one day. But your guess is as good as mine. Am I that transparent? Listen, I know you owe me nothing at all, but I would do anything to get off of here. I know the societies want who knows what from you for who knows why, and I don't want to get involved in any politics. I just want, for my single self, a chance to explore. I'd happily earn my way. Like I said, a lot of spacefaring know-how has been put in my head. Let's put it to good use, right? You won't regret it. Thanks. Do you want to talk about anything else? No, I don't. I consider myself a most ardent admirer of hers. She feels like... family. Distant family. I like to think we both share a kindred spirit of adventure, though. She broke so many barriers in her life. I would love the same opportunity one day. I have a few choice, unchristian thoughts about some of them. But I'm going to stay out of it. Listen, I'd understand you making any decision you have to regarding them. Any at all. I just hope you judge me separate. I don't wish harm on anyone. I just want to explore. Goodbye, outsider.
The Renegade will use any means to escape Crucible. I listened to Amon Arenas for years before I joined the Believers.
a great many things in the settled systems. More than most. And right now, words fail me.
Meet your death.
You came. I just can't take a chance. These clones, they're psychotic, crazy. If they find out, I'm sorry. I just can't take the chance. You're just too smart. I'm not Wyatt Earp. I wish. God, how I wish I was. I was cloned off a monster. America's first serial killer. H.H. Holmes.
Well, that is less auspicious.
It's like a living nightmare. If you go to the facility, I know you'd find out who I am. And if you let any of these bloodthirsty maniacs know, they'd kill me. But no, that wouldn't be the end. Every time my new clone would appear, death, torture, pure hell. I'm afraid it's you or me. I'm going to kill you. A few of the old-timers know I used to go by Bill Hickok. I mean, I had to make up a story. I always used to read the dime novels, and I figured I knew enough about Wild Bill and Wyatt to pull it off. I just had no way of knowing what my previous life... So I played dumb. But Roosevelt is a crafty one. I really, really don't. Besides Ada and maybe Amelia, you're the nicest person I've met. But the other clones, they would tear me apart. Don't you see? They're the monsters. I just don't want to be tortured like that. Please. Please. I just don't see a way out. I mean, no. I guess. Maybe you're right. Wyatt Earp was a hero. Maybe I can. I'm gonna trust you, okay? Just don't tell anyone. This never happened.
Hi. Please disregard. I attempted an informal greeting, but I am dissatisfied with the results.
hope you can succeed at that before we are discovered. It seems local fauna has been nesting here. If you require organic